The night smelled of rain and smoke, the kind that hung over small-town bars when Friday crowds gathered to forget their week. Laughter spilled out of cracked windows, beer glasses clinked against wooden tables, and an old jukebox hummed in the corner, fighting to be heard over the noise. Jack Monroe sat quietly in his booth, shoulders hunched, eyes fixed on the amber liquid in his glass. He wasn't much of a drinker anymore, not since his daughter Lily was born, but tonight the silence at home had felt too heavy. His neighbor was watching Lily, giving him just one night to breathe. Yet even here, surrounded by people, the loneliness still gnawed at him. Jack wasn't just another tired man. He was a Marine, once a leader of men, once a force to be reckoned with. Now, he was a single dad, working odd jobs to keep the rent paid and food on the table. His wife, his anchor, had passed away while he was overseas. That guilt never left him. He had fought battles on foreign soil but lost the most important one at home. The door creaked open, and the bar shifted. Conversations stuttered, eyes turned. She walked in like she owned the night. Cassandra Knight. Everyone knew the name. The billionaire biker who had shocked the world by refusing to live in mansions or lock herself in boardrooms. She chose the open road, leather jackets, roaring engines, and freedom over pearls and chandeliers. Men stared, women whispered, but Cassandra didn't notice. She moved with the calm defiance of someone who had nothing to prove. She set her helmet on the counter and ordered a whiskey, her dark hair falling loose around her shoulders. The bar tried to swallow her presence, but it couldn't. She was fire in a room full of smoke. Jack noticed her, of course. How could he not? But he quickly looked away. She was everything he wasn't. Wealthy. Powerful. Free. He had no place even staring at someone like her. And yet, fate. Or maybe just bad stitching pulled them together. Cassandra turned, weaving through the crowd toward a booth in the back. In the crowded shuffle, her jacket snagged on Jack's worn shirt. There was a ripping sound, sharp and humiliating. The fabric tore across his chest, exposing skin and, more importantly, the ink etched into it. The eagle, globe, and anchor of the United States Marine Corps. Bold. Unforgiving. A story written in scars and steel. The room froze. Conversations died mid-sentence. The jukebox seemed to choke on its song. All eyes turned to Jack. For a moment, he felt like he was back in uniform, every gaze heavy, expectant. He tugged at the torn shirt, embarrassed, wanting to disappear. But Cassandra didn't laugh. She didn't apologize nervously or pretend it hadn't happened. Instead, she looked at the tattoo with a kind of reverence. "Marine?" she asked softly. Jack's throat tightened. "Once," he muttered. "A long time ago." Cassandra shook her head. Her voice was firm, but not unkind. "Not once. Always." That night should have ended with polite words and separate lives. But something shifted. Cassandra didn't return to her corner. She slid into the booth across from Jack, ignoring the stares, ignoring the whispers. "Buy you a drink? Or do Marines prefer to drink alone?" Jack almost said no. Almost told her he wasn't interested in games. But her eyes, there was no mockery there. No pity. Just curiosity, maybe even respect. "One drink," he said. And one drink turned into a conversation. Jack didn't spill everything at once. But Cassandra had a way of asking questions that weren't prying, yet somehow reached into the spaces he had locked away. He found himself telling her about his service. About the night terrors that still woke him. About Lily, his little girl with a laugh that could melt steel, the reason he kept breathing. Cassandra listened. Really listened. For once, Jack didn't feel like he was being tolerated. He felt seen. "You've carried more than most men could survive," she said at last. "You call it a burden. I call it strength." Jack gave a bitter smile. "Strength doesn't pay rent." Her lips curved slightly. "No. But it earns respect. And that's rarer than money." The weeks that followed didn't feel like chance. Cassandra showed up at the diner where Jack worked part-time. At first, he thought it was coincidence. But when she came by again, and then again, he knew better. "You stalking me?" he teased once, though his voice held no humor. Cassandra smirked. "Maybe. Or maybe I just like good coffee." He didn't understand it. She could have had anyone, been anywhere, yet she chose to sit across from him, asking about his day, his daughter, his life. For Jack, it was terrifying. What could he give her? He lived paycheck to paycheck, his shoes worn, his hands rough from labor. She lived in a world of jets, empires, and headlines. He had nothing but scars and a daughter who depended on him. But Cassandra never looked at him like he was less. If anything, she looked at him like he was more. One evening, she made him an offer. "I could use a man like you in my company," she said. "Head of security. You'd be working with me, not for me." Jack stiffened. Pride surged hot in his chest. "I don't need charity." Cassandra leaned forward, her eyes locked on his. "Charity is when you give something to someone who can't earn it. I'm offering you a role because you're the most capable man I've met. Don't insult both of us by calling that charity." Her words cut through his pride, but not in a way that hurt. Instead, they left him silent. And the next day, he accepted. The adjustment wasn't easy. Jack was used to battlefields, not boardrooms. Corporate halls felt like minefields, full of men in suits smiling with sharp teeth, women with whispers sharper than knives. They looked at him like he didn't belong. A Marine in a cheap suit, trailing behind a billionaire. The whispers grew louder. "She's wasting her time with him. He's nothing but a charity case. He doesn't fit in her world." Jack heard every word. And as much as he tried to ignore it, the old ghosts clawed at him, ghosts that told him he wasn't enough, that he would always be the man who failed to protect his family. One night, after Lily had gone to sleep, Jack called Cassandra. His voice was heavy. "I don't think I can do this. I don't belong in your world. You deserve someone who can walk beside you without stumbling." There was silence. Then the sound of her motorcycle roaring outside his window. He opened the door to find her standing in the rain, hair plastered to her face, leather jacket dripping. "You think I care about belonging?" she demanded. "I've sat in rooms worth billions, and not one of them ever made me feel safe. Not one of them ever stood up for what was right, no matter the cost. You are the only man I know who doesn't hide behind power. You are real, Jack. That terrifies them. And it's why I'm not letting you walk away." His chest tightened, his voice raw. "I don't have anything to give you." She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "You already have. Respect. Truth. And a reason to fight for something that isn't just about me." From then on, they fought together. Jack learned the rhythms of Cassandra's world, even when it bruised his pride. Cassandra embraced Jack's daughter Lily, becoming the kind of presence that made the little girl laugh again. But the battles didn't stop. Paparazzi followed, tabloids spun cruel stories, board members tried to oust Cassandra for being reckless. Jack's pride and Cassandra's independence clashed more than once, leading to heated arguments and painful silences. Yet each time, they came back. Because their bond wasn't built on convenience. It was built on the night his shirt ripped open, the night she saw his scars and called them strength. The breaking point came at a board meeting. Cassandra's leadership was challenged openly, her decisions questioned, her relationship with Jack used as ammunition. One executive sneered, "A Marine? A single father with nothing to his name? This is the man you tie yourself to? What could he possibly offer?" Jack rose from his seat at the back, his voice calm, steady, the voice of a leader. "What I offer is something none of you can buy. Loyalty. Honor. Integrity. The kind of strength that doesn't waver when things get hard. If you can't see the value in that, then you've already lost more than you'll ever know." The room went silent. Cassandra smiled. And for the first time, Jack didn't feel out of place. He felt exactly where he belonged. In the months that followed, life didn't suddenly become easy. Jack still wrestled with pride, Cassandra still fought battles in boardrooms, and Lily still asked questions about the mother she barely remembered. But they weren't alone anymore. Cassandra wasn't just a billionaire biker. She was family. And Jack wasn't just a Marine or a struggling dad. He was a man who had found love, respect, and a future he never thought he'd deserve. Every time he saw the tattoo on his chest, he remembered the night it was revealed, not just to a bar full of strangers, but to the woman who would change his life forever. Sparkle's final inspiring message. This story is proof that love doesn't care about wealth, status, or scars. It cares about truth, respect, and the courage to stand by someone even when the world says you shouldn't. Sometimes, the most unlikely people are the ones who make your life worth living. Loudspeaker call to action for your channel, be kind always. Backhand index pointing right. What did you think about Jack and Cassandra's story? Do you believe love can rise from two completely different worlds like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, I'd love to hear them. Thumbs up, don't forget to like this video if it touched your heart. Bell subscribe to Be Kind Always for more powerful stories of hope, love, and resilience. Speech balloon, and remember, no matter what the world throws at you, always choose kindness.